Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly.
And I'm Lori.
We're talking about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 5, Episode 5. This title is Whitney Drew and Her Clues. I think it's kind of a lame title.
Yeah.
We start out back in Salt Lake City. Lisa walks into Henry's room and he's playing video games.
As all children do.
As all boys do, right?
I totally agree. It's definitely what they do, but what a dig after what Angie said.
Yeah.
The producers
Exactly.
are producing.
Yeah. The next we see Meredith is with Ruth, her rabbi, and she is learning her prayers for her bat mitzvah. What I liked about this scene is it's the only one we saw Meredith
It's
in
the only one, and I didn't miss
whole
her.
episode.
I
Is
didn't
it
miss her.
really?
It's
Yep.
it. That's it.
It
Yep.
didn't miss her.
That was the best part of this whole.
I didn't miss her either. I
Right?
did not even realize, and that's not good.
It's
Meredith.
it's good for us because she
Great
drives me
for us.
crazy. She drives me crazy. Then we see Bronwyn meets up with Lisa, and they're talking about where they're getting their legs massaged. And Lisa and Bronwyn were in the airport in Milwaukee. This is very interesting.
This
to me.
is
Yes,
crazy.
This is very interesting. So Bronwyn made this funny face, and Lisa said to her, "You look exactly like Gwen, her daughter." And she's like, no, she looks like her father. Everyone says she looks like her father. And then she pulls up a picture of her father on her phone and shows it to Lisa. And Lisa's like, I know him and I know his family. I know them.
Man.
I know them really well, which is craziness. Craziness.
And that's something like Life is Stranger Than Fiction deal. That's not,
Absolutely.
that was not produced.
No.
unless it was.
No.
Unless production knew about this connection with them. Maybe this is a whole. Listen, this is not far-fetched.
I didn't think about it until you just said that, but quite honestly, his name has had to have come up. If she and Bronwyn have been friends the longest, and they keep saying that, they've been friends the longest, how has his name not come up?
I'm just saying, it really truly could go either way.
I agree.
Brilliant,
I didn't think about it, but
brilliantly
I agree with
produced.
you.
If that is so, because
It was believable.
it's very believable. But like I said, it could be that maybe that's Bronwyn's whole pull into the gig. Producers met her. Lisa said, "Oh, we have this connection. I knew about the family. It's a whole storyline."
Right.
I don't think so. You know why I don't think so? I don't think so because I would really hope that Bronwyn would not do that to Gwen.
Well, that's true.
There's that.
Okay.
There's that.
So
He
There's
seems
that.
like a stand-up kind of person.
I would hope that she would not do that to her daughter, to put her daughters
in that position.
in that position to have to deal with this for one and to film it for two. I
Right.
really thought, and I hope I am right, but
that would be some serious acting, even on the daughter's part,
yeah.
if this is something that was all agreed upon and prearranged prior.
Yeah. I hope not.
I hope not.
Just a thought.
I hope not too. But I will say, now you girls have me thinking, because Lisa is really the reason that this show exists, because Lisa has this whole producer entertainment background that we haven't really seen on the show. In the very beginning, when she first started, we saw that she was doing the Sundance Film Festival.
Right.
And that's the only thing we ever saw about it. We never saw anything else. But Kelly and I were talking about it, or maybe you were talking with us too, Lori, how she's the one who has these connections in the entertainment industry that made Salt Lake City happen. And now we see that there's this new show coming out.
Yes, the real estate one,
Which-
and it's her friend.
Is Lisa's involved in.
Yes.
So if anybody was going to make something happen like this, it would be Lisa. But I really hope for her daughter's sake that that's not true.
Yeah, I agree.
So then we hear a little bit about the story. So Bronwyn was 18 when she got pregnant and
In college.
in BYU. She was the second year, and they went to his parents' house. And his parents were not warm and fuzzy. They were blaming her for everything. I guess they're those parents that, not my kid,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is insane.
For sure.
Yeah, Bronwyn said that, letting his parents know was not a pleasant conversation.
Right. And, he was never involved in the child's life. So when she left after that happened, she knew at that point she's going to have to do this on her own. His parents would have preferred that she went and did a semester abroad and gave the child up for adoption and just pretended like it didn't happen.
Yeah, she said that they actually said that.
Well, because that's happened a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And she went home to her mom, and it wasn't easy. She went home to her parents, but, eventually,
her father was very high up in the Mormon church.
Yes.
So he was not warm and fuzzy about it either.
Correct. But we did also find out that after she gave birth, Bronwyn's father did call Gwen's father and the family to let them know that she was born.
Right.
So they had an opportunity, and, they chose not to reach out.
What I can't understand is why when their son passed away, when Gwen's father passed away, they did not at that point reach out. She was 2 years old. Because I have 2 nephews who have passed away, and they both have children. Thank God they both have children, because that's a blessing to our families.
Right.
That we have these kids to love.
Absolutely.
After their fathers have passed. So it blows me away that this guy's parents didn't at that point reach out and be like, listen, we fucked up.
Yeah.
But now we lost our son, and we really want her in our life. And I'm sure at that point, Bronwyn would have been like, absolutely.
Yeah.
It blows me away that they lost their son and didn't reach out at that point.
Well, you know what? It's really, really sad because they have no idea what they missed.
Absolutely.
That is their grandchild. That is a piece of their son that they would have forever. I'm curious as to how he passed.
I know they don't say. They don't say.
They don't say, but maybe we will find out.
Maybe.
It is very sad. And it's also very sad how Bronwyn found out about his passing.
Oh, yeah.
On Facebook.
Yeah.
I mean, really?
Yeah, that's nuts.
I mean, that's crazy.
So either way, the girl's bringing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bronwyn's bringing it.
And,
but this is what Housewives is all about.
She's bringing it.
This is what it's all about. Not the catty bullshit, lying and not
backstabbing.
This
right.
is, she's a great pick. Bravo, bravo.
Yes, bravo.
No,
You've done good.
This is real. This is
Well,
real.
Hopefully, like we said.
Right.
Hopefully. I mean, even the fact that, Bronwyn's sitting there talking to Lisa and she's struggling with the whole concept of Lisa's perception of the grandparents, because Lisa speaks so highly of them and what wonderful people they were.
Right, trying to reconcile the two.
Right, to what her experience was. And Lisa was there when he passed away, and she was there with the family. And, it really does blow me away.
It seemed like a sincere tear from Lisa. So either her acting skills are getting better.
Improving.
Yeah. Or
it
is a true thing.
Right?
Yeah.
It's genuine.
Yeah.
But I don't blame Bronwyn for being cautious to be on board with her daughter meeting her grandparents.
Oh, sure.
But, obviously you understand why her daughter would want to.
Right.
But it doesn't seem like it was. It doesn't seem like it was going very well. And I think Bronwyn was asked on Watch What Happens Live, and she basically said it's going to play out on the show.
Yes.
She'd rather not comment.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
My thought of it is 2 things. First of all, I don't know why Lisa would assert herself in that way. I think that she put her daughter in a very uncomfortable situation.
What do you mean?
Because if anyone was to decide to reach out to them and mend this thing, it shouldn't have been Lisa. Like, once Lisa reached out to the family, what else? Like, you started that real throwing, and now, you know what I mean? Like, you've kind of taken it out of Bronwyn's hands and put Gwen. I feel like you put Gwen in a situation where, you know what I'm saying?
I didn't get that impression. I got the impression that Bronwyn gave Lisa the okay.
I wish they would have said, because
yes,
you really,
I agree.
Yes, they didn't make it
know.
clear, but
Right.
I did get that impression that
I
she
did too.
gave her the okay to, reach out.
Yeah.
And then I forget what the second thing I was going to say was.
It'll come to you.
It'll come to me.
All right. And we're going to get back to this in a little
She's a great
bit.
mom, though, Bronwyn, for supporting her daughter, though, I think. And her daughter's a very brave young lady for speaking about it on camera.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're going to get back to her again a little bit towards the end. Then we see Brittany, Heather, and Whitney. They go skiing and snowboarding. Brittany sends a video to Heather after she got back from Milwaukee with all the flowers and the card that Jared had sent her, Jared Osman. And
I don't know what to make of this.
Listen.
Because he basically came out and said I wasn't her boyfriend. I agreed to do this for the show.
Right.
I almost believe him.
No, I do believe him.
You totally believe him.
I believe him. I do believe him.
Because he could just be saying that to save face because he looks like such a douchebag.
He looks even like a bigger douchebag by saying that, though. I don't think it helps his case. I don't think it helps his case. So then Brittany goes on to say how she's not really happy with Lisa.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
crazy.
that was awful.
Right.
Crazy
I
town.
mean,
girl, you've been smelling your beans.
right.
You've been yakking it up. Like Mary said, I don't want to know about your shit. I'm loving Mary.
Lisa saw who he was.
Right.
Right away, got his
basically
number.
calling him out on it.
Yep.
And that's why he's...
And you like how, like, when she meets him for lunch, I know we'll get to it, but when she meets him for lunch, he totally manipulates the situation 100%. To make her think, like, she fucked it all up.
Yep.
When there was nothing there to fuck up because you're not in a relationship.
Right.
There.
Right.
It's just crazy town.
It is.
Right.
It absolutely is crazy. It is crazy. And then we find out that Whitney gets a call from the manager at the hotel that they're staying at.
Oh, yeah.
In Milwaukee, that somebody left behind a jewelry box with the Prism jewelry. And of course, it's Lisa's room.
Now, I can understand that. I can understand the hotel calling because I was online reading a bunch of different blogs and stuff. And now it's getting twisted around to say that she threw it in the garbage. You see, things get all built up and twisty-windy. But I can see why the hotel would call.
Right.
Because someone left a piece of jewelry in their room.
Right.
So, of course, you call and say, a guest left. I mean, maybe what if she didn't mean to leave it? And then she called 2 days later and said, oh, my gosh, I left my jewelry. And she knew she left. You know what I'm saying? Like, the hotel's liable. So, of course, you call.
Right. So when Whitney finds this out, of course, she's furious. And, then she finds out from Heather that Lisa's the one who told Meredith about the whole Alibaba thing.
Yeah, we didn't know that.
We didn't know that.
I don't think Meredith said that.
No, we thought that came from Meredith.
Meredith said people keep tagging her in posts.
Right.
Yes.
But we find out that it actually came from Lisa. So, of course, now Whitney has in her mind that Lisa's out to get her. She's spreading these Alibaba rumors. She left, the jewelry back there, and she thinks it's personal. And Heather's like, no, it's not personal, but that's
personal.
Whitney says, listen, this is my business. I feel like this was planted. I feel like she's attacking me. That goes aside for a little bit. We're going to get back to it. Then we see Mary downstairs at her house calling for her son, Robert Jr. When I saw his name over his bedroom door, I literally almost fell off the couch.
Everybody says online has been saying the same thing. Like,
is he 5 years old?
And there's only one kid, man.
What?
Yeah. But so he can find his room at night.
He looked a little...
He was wasted.
He was high.
And it was horrible. I felt
high.
so bad for Mary.
Yeah.
Because you could tell, like, that was very...
It was bad.
It was very brave of her to be able to film that and put that out there. Because I'm sure that's the time when she was trying to...
She was struggling.
Out that he had a problem.
Right.
Now he's in rehab, thank God.
Yeah.
And, pray for him that he will recover and everything. Yeah. But that's hard. That's hard.
No, it was hard. But
I can't even imagine filming a show.
But
sometimes it's hard to do the podcast when we know something's going on with our kids.
Yeah. Imagine having cameras.
No.
in their face
No.
and their
'cause
name.
very easily choose to not do it one night and be like, listen, I got too much going on. I can't.
Yeah.
Right. But the name, I'm sorry, but the name over the
It's
bedroom door.
horrible.
I wonder if her bedroom door says Mary M.
Maybe it says
Cosby.
Mary
Yeah.
M.
And Robert Sr. says Robert Sr. Because
Yeah.
you know they're not sleeping in the same bedroom.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Just so everybody knows where they're going at the end of the night.
Yeah.
Let's follow our signs. And she tells him she's going off to a dance class. He asks for some money, and she's trying to tell him that, he needs to use the money for good, to feed his soul and his body with good nutrients. And, that's really falling on deaf ears because he's going to go lay back down.
Yeah.
Then Angie pulls up to Mary's house in her Ferrari and picks up Mary, and Mary smells onions. Mary and her super
God.
smeller.
As soon as she gets in the car,
Well,
your
listen.
car smells like onions. Yeah, some fucking sense of smell. I'm so jealous because I haven't had a sense of smell in years. I
Oh, when
burned
COVID.
bacon. Well, first it was when my nephew was in the hospital. I got really sick and I lost it then. I got it back a little bit. Then I got COVID.
And then that
I
was
haven't
it.
had it since COVID. But I burned bacon. For some reason, I put bacon in the oven one morning.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
you
know
can
what I
do
was
it in the
thinking.
oven, yeah.
I know. I think I was just trying something new I saw on Pinterest. I forgot about it. Eric comes up from the basement. He's like, what are you doing? You don't smell that? I was right in the next room. I'm like, I swear I don't smell that. It was burned bacon. How awful.
Oh, boy.
I'm very jealous of Mary's sense of smell.
I will tell you, I also have a super smeller. I do. My nose is my thing. Like, I can smell anything anywhere. But I don't know that I'd be yelling it out. Like, if I get in your car
But
and I
this is-
smell onions.
This is the thing. Your friend is Greek.
Right.
What do you think? What do you think she's going to smell like?
Eric tells me I smell like garlic all the time.
I'm sure you do.
It's just my natural scent.
Right. Yeah.
It's just coming through my pores.
Eat it. I'm saying Greek
I
people
do.
eat
I
a lot
it
of
all the
onions.
time.
So,
Right.
You're right.
You're going to smell like it.
It's funny though. Mary's bringing it too.
I love Mary this season.
So good this
Mary's
season.
bringing it.
And now knowing what she was going through with her son, it
God bless
makes
her.
it even more
Impressive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're going to a dance class, and they show up at this dance class, and lo and behold, Heather's daughter is there.
Oh, imagine that, Mr. and Mrs. Producers.
Oh yeah. I didn't realize who they were talking about. What's her name? Georgia?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't realize who they were talking about until later in the episode when Heather said, "Oh, you saw my Georgia." And
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, that's what that was."
So they're doing the dance class. I will admit that Mary was horrible.
I don't think Mary's horrible. I think Mary's got a lot of rhythm. I think it was a little much for Miss Church Mouse Mary. I think she let it go a little more at the gay club,
Yeah.
but she does. You can tell she has rhythm. I just don't think she was gonna like bust
Thrust.
it out because she was, she was a little too good for it. But you can tell she's got
Yeah.
rhythm.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought Angie was doing pretty
yeah,
good.
Angie did
great.
well.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
Angie was
Angie
doing
did
pretty good. So then
Yeah.
after the dance class, Angie and Mary are talking about what happened with Lisa, and Angie said she's a committed mother, which we know Angie's a committed mother.
Yeah.
Because she was upset about what Lisa said about her daughter Electra. Like, that should have never been mentioned. And she said, listen, Lisa has a problem with everyone. And she names every single cast member that's been on the show, past and present.
She did. And they like X'd them out as
Yep.
they were going.
And she's right. She was right.
Yep.
She has had a problem with every single cast member that's been on the show, past and present. And I was, I felt bad for her because she said her and Lisa used to be like sisters. They would talk multiple times a day.
Well,
I
I
mean,
think that's what Lisa obviously wanted at the time. Like, Lisa's probably like one of those really like shallow, fair weather friends. Lisa's going to be friends with Angie when it was good for Lisa.
Yes. I agree
But
with
the
that.
second that Angie fell out of any kind of line,
Then Lisa's dropping her.
and Lisa,
Yeah.
you're bitching that Angie changed the parameters of your relationship. I'm sure Lisa changed them way before Angie changed them.
Right.
Angie changed them in response to Lisa.
Right. I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Then we see Heather and Lisa meet up, and they go to the salt caves, which is what we are going to do.
Yeah, I'm just saying, listen, The Mormons got a thing with the salt caves.
Yeah, they do. They
No,
do.
the Mormon wives were on there.
It's good for you.
Yeah.
Thought it was a little odd that they both asked for tea. I told you I've been to these salt places. You're not really drinking tea in a salt cave. And the woman said after she brought them tea, like, don't spill it because
It'll melt the
It'll
salt.
melt the salt.
it'll melt the salt. I don't know. That was a little odd to me.
Yeah.
Lisa says, I feel like the Harley Museum things, that's when everything changed with her and what did I just say?
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This is Emotional Support Water Bottle. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Ailish. We're two besties who don't leave the house without their water bottles.
Every week, we're bringing you conversations about pop culture news, relatable real-life topics, and our random thoughts about the world today.
We cover things like Bravo TV recaps, breaking celebrity scandals, and Hollywood updates, and dig deeper on topics relating to navigating our 30s, dating and relationships, and keeping our work, social lives balanced.
So grab your water bottles and look out for new episodes every Friday.
Oh, when Lisa and Heather were in the salt cave, she said that's when it changed
Yes.
for her and Angie.
Yes, for her and Angie. Exactly.
Heather was way
really
before that feeding into this, though.
But she, you know what? She gives off such desperate, I want to be popular in high school,
It
friends
all
with
goes
Lisa
back-
Barlow.
And it all goes back to season 1. Remember, they went to school together, and Lisa was like the popular
I'm
girl,
sure
and
she
Heather
was, and
wasn't.
Heather wasn't.
And Heather still feels insecure about that. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
No, I 100% agree with you because I feel like Heather is so desperate in this situation. And she's the one who keeps pushing this narrative that they're changing the parameters of the relationship. Like,
Right.
who says that?
Right.
Who says that? And, she goes on to say, like, I don't like the way that she's treating you. Wait, what? Angie didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
So Lisa says, Heather and Angie
Oh.
say that Lisa lets her kids sit in the room and play video games.
Wait.
Okay.
Did she say that about Lisa's son? Did she say her
Heather
son?
said, Angie said,
Angie
Lisa
said it.
lets her son play.
But when you watch the show, did Angie say Lisa?
I'm sure she did, but they didn't show us that part.
Right.
So she said, I'm not the kind of mom who lets my kid play video games all day.
Angie said that.
Angie said
Right,
that.
but she didn't say Lisa.
But I think she did to Heather.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And then
And I
that's
think it was inferred. Oh,
right. And then we see her son playing video games.
Right, that's
the
what I
producers
mean.
Right.
do.
Right.
The
Sure.
producers
Right.
do.
Producers said that, yeah.
And Lisa said, wow, like she's questioning my parenting. But wait, you questioned her parenting first.
Yeah, the whole parenting thing, like it goes back to what's the other show? Oh wait, no, maybe I'm thinking of Salt Lake. Yeah, they got to stop doing that.
Yeah, it's no good.
No, Potomac.
Oh, yeah,
How they're
Potomac.
coming at Mia.
Yes, on Potomac.
Like, just stop it, because we're all doing the best we can.
Yes.
And nobody knows what the fuck they're doing. And if you think you know what the fuck you're doing,
You don't.
your kids are doing shit that you don't know about.
Right. You don't know about.
Exactly.
stop. Everybody
Right.
stop.
And if no one's,
Just pray your kids come home every day.
right. If no one's neglecting their
That's right.
child,
That's right.
then
Or abusing them.
right, then stay the fuck out of it, because I'm glad that you do such a good job. You keep doing it, and I'm gonna do the best that I can over here,
Exactly.
and whatever it is.
Right.
Everybody shut up.
And then we see Lisa in her confessional crying. I mean, come on. Like that was acting like I've never seen before.
Was it over the parenting comment? Though?
Yeah, I'm criticized all the time as a public figure.
Well, maybe she is, though. Maybe people online are commenting and saying shit.
And to have someone who knows me criticize you for how you are as a mom.
Well, she was saying too,
I don't blame her, though.
since her son is going through all this shit in
Columbia.
Columbia.
being sick, but like I said on our last podcast, maybe he's just had bad fucking diarrhea for a couple weeks, because that's what happens when you eat food.
Yeah, when you go somewhere you're not
Columbia.
used to. Yeah.
Well, he did come home. He did come home for a while.
We
And
did.
yeah, no, he did. He did wind up coming home for a while because I either heard it on a podcast or I saw her talk about it. But she did say that he did come home for a while and he was getting tested like every week. And he's They didn't come up with anything.
Right.
And he's
Probably
fine.
got, like some kind of parasite or
Right.
some
And
shit.
he's
I
back
think
there.
it's anxiety.
He's back there.
Right.
I think
Either or.
everything's anxiety, though.
But I, in a very small way, I do see what she's saying, that, it's very difficult for her because it's your kid and he's sick and he's in a foreign country. So that is somewhat understandable.
People are probably nasty online.
Right.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we got some
Imagine.
nasties.
But listen, she's not a public, like, if you're calling,
Public
if
figure.
you're calling yourself
In
a
the
public,
Bravo sphere,
Yeah, but if you're-
only.
but if you're calling yourself a public figure, then Angie's a public figure too.
Sure.
And you were the one who criticized Angie and used Angie's daughter's name.
Right. That's
so
true.
don't throw it out
Yeah.
there and then sit there and cry in your confessional about it.
That she's doing it to you.
Right. Like, you started this.
Right.
Right.
She just responded.
Right.
You started it. And by the way, if you come for us, I don't really care. I seriously don't care. Some of my co-hosts care a little bit more than I do. Because listen, we are here for entertainment purposes only.
Right. It's just our dumbass opinion.
If you don't agree with us,
Then
that's
right.
fine. If you don't like my hair color or the way I do my makeup or the way I sip my wine, I don't care.
Right.
Get over your bad self.
Right. We are from New Jersey. We
are
don't
from New Jersey.
care.
And our motto is, we wine whenever, and we hope you do too. So,
Right. So yeah, if you got a problem, have a
right.
glass.
Who cares? The next
Rant. That.
Like it.
Next, we see Whitney is in the car with her husband, and they're dropping off Bobby for soccer practice. And Whitney says, I can't believe we bought a house that every window faces the church, which I do think is kind of funny.
That is funny.
Because she spent all this time, like, leaving the church and mourning her loss of the church. And like she said, now she's making a house where.
But it sounded like it was a good financial move because those houses are worth more money.
Right. It increases
good
the
for
property
them.
value.
Yeah, good for them.
100%. So after they drop off Bobby, all of a sudden she gets a call from Adam, who happens to be Up and Adam, our podcast
That's
friend.
who that was?
That's who
Yes.
it was. Yes.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know. I knew his name was Adam, but I didn't put it together that it was Up and Adam.
It was Up and
I do
Adam.
like him.
Oh, I like him too.
I
Yeah.
love him. You know,
that's awesome.
Up and Adam used to work at Sir.
Really?
Adam from Up and Adam. No, he used to work
But he lives in South Carolina now, right? Because I think he's friends with a lot of the Southern Charm people.
He very well
Well,
may.
yeah.
I don't know where he lives right
His
now.
birthday party was in South Carolina or Charleston. I remember that.
I do know that he used to work at Sir because he knows all the. Yes, he used to work at Sir.
I like him.
So I actually saw his Up and Adam TikTok before I saw the show, and he started talking about him being on the show, and I was like, oh, I got to stop watching this. I need to see the show first.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very confused. I'll be quite honest with you, because what happened on the show and did you see his TikTok?
I watched his whole 2 episodes. I watched his recap of Salt Lake, and then I watched him explaining specifically about this.
Okay. So you take this, Laura. Take this.
Take it,
Take
Laura.
it.
So Up and Adam was at BravoCon, and he met some of the girls from Salt Lake, and he said it was just like this weird, uncomfortable kind of thing. Maybe some of them were like a little snarky or something. But
Did they know who he was?
I don't know. But Whitney was very nice to him. So they became friends. He says he's friends with a lot of the housewives. He speaks to Meredith all the time. He said about her, she never spills anything, but they're friends. So he talks he's actually going to Dorinda's for the
Bluestone Manor.
Bluestone
Okay.
Manor for the Halloween party. Nice, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So him and Whitney are in contact with each other. Whitney calls him and says, look, I need you to find out some stuff for me. He says, okay. So what you hear in that phone call is him calling her. And now, mind you, all this stuff didn't get filmed until right before the finale. But they put it in now.
Wow, that's interesting.
Adam is sitting with his husband at home, watching Salt Lake City, just like all of us. And all of a sudden, this phone call comes on, and he's on. Now, he did sign, he did sign up with Bravo to do this.
Right.
He knew he was being recorded. he knew that he was going to be on the show. He didn't know when, and he didn't know the context.
Got it.
Of what it was going to be.
I just want to let everybody know that Lori just twisted her hair and put it in a bun flawlessly while she was talking. I could never do that in my life, and I went to cosmetology school.
And there was no pins, nothing.
No hair tie,
no.
Nothing. She twisted, she put it in a bun, and she tied it all up into a pretty knot.
And there you go. And now I'm feeling a little less hot.
Maybe we'll put a tutorial of that up
like
later.
for real.
Seriously,
for real.
because...
So,
all right, proceed.
They have a conversation. I'm going to explain the conversation, and then we'll put it into context of what the phone call is.
Got it.
So they have a conversation. The first thing she wants to know is, her and Monica have kind of been in contact. She would like to pursue a relationship with Monica
Garcia?
Yes. But she had this account. It was called Claire. She didn't have it. She knew about this. There was this account called Claire, and that account was coming after Bobby, saying things about Bobby.
No,
so
that's fucked up.
Right. So Whitney wanted to find out about this account. She wanted to find out whether Monica had anything to do with it. Because if Monica had anything to do with it, she doesn't want anything to do with Monica. So that was the first thing she asked him to find out. Second thing is this woman, Dana Wilkie.
Dana
has a Patreon, and she was the one who put the info out about Prism. About the jewelry.
About the Alibaba.
And the Alibaba thing.
Lori, let me just interrupt you for a second. So Dana Wilkie, you don't know this, but Kelly and I do. Dana Wilkie was on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills for one season. One season.
Friend of.
She was the most annoying friend of ever.
No, just talking about money.
She would show up. You like my glasses? They were, I don't even know.
$25K.
$25,000. These glasses are $25,000.
Can you believe?
Yeah.
You'll hear
Yes. So that's who Dana Wilkie is.
So that's who she is. Okay. So she had the Patreon, and Adam's husband heard her Patreon. Now, this is where it gets confusing because there were two different things. Adam tells the story that his husband was listening to the Patreon or asked him, do you know anything about this Patreon with Whitney Rose's jewelry that this Dana Wilkie is putting out? And Adam said no. So then he tells him, now he says, but I don't know how he knew it was coming out on Patreon. Is there I don't do Patreon. Is there like a thing that tells you what's coming out? Because it doesn't sound like it was out already.
It's probably
like an upcoming,
like a teaser.
Okay, so maybe that was
Juicy Scoop with Heather McDonald. She'll do a podcast, and then she'll say, if you want to hear more about this, go to my Patreon, because you pay for Patreon.
I got it. Okay.
Right. So they might have teased it in a podcast, and then to hear the full story, you had to pay for it on Patreon.
Okay. So then the second thing Whitney called him about was, she wanted him to contact this Dana Wilkie and find out who was her source.
Okay.
So he says he spoke to Whitney. Whitney said, because he says he contacted Whitney and said, I want to let you know that this is coming out. Like, you did me solid at BravoCon. So Whitney says that it's not true. Then he's talking to Meredith, and she says, you'd have to be a moron to think that the public wouldn't find out about it. There's no way that Whitney did that. I mean, there's no way. That's what Meredith is saying.
That Whitney is not using Alibaba products and selling it at a higher rate on Prism.
Right.
Meredith said that.
Is saying that Meredith
to Adam from Up and Out.
Right. That makes no sense for anybody to do and think that they could get away with it.
Right.
But wait a second. I have a question. I'm a little bit confused. So you're saying that Adam let Whitney know before it came out from Meredith that this was coming out?
I believe so. I believe that's what he said.
I
could be wrong.
I mean,
that
very
could
twisted. No, that could be, because what was very confusing to me was when he was talking to her on the show, what we saw on the actual show, he led us to believe that it was Lisa. But that
right,
is not what
that's not
happened, because
what
that's
happened.
what he said on the TikTok. It is not Lisa. He said Whitney wanted it to be Lisa, but it's not Lisa. But that's not what Bravo led us to believe.
So what happened was there was 2 conversations going on at the same time, that all this stuff that he was talking about, and these things got filmed. So they're filmed. They're with Bravo. Bravo's going to do with them what they want. So what you're hearing in that conversation is him calling Whitney and telling her, discussing about that Claire website.
That was from Lisa?
He didn't say it was from Lisa.
He said it was someone who has a liquor brand.
Right. But he, on his podcast, he said there's other people who have liquor brands.
No, someone on the cast that has a liquor brand.
She said someone in my
Adam
friend
said
group. That's
there's
what they
somebody
always
else.
say. Somebody in my friend group.
In their friend group. So it's not necessarily the cast. But Adam said
That was about the Claire.
that was about the Claire. And when he approached the thing about the Claire, the source that he had wouldn't give up the source.
Right.
But they kind of, he said, when you're working with people that are in this sphere, you could kind of find out who it's not by asking certain questions.
What? I got to be honest with you. Why are they letting podcasters and bloggers get involved with this housewife stuff?
I don't know.
It's getting a little too much. Like, listen, we obviously are podcasters and we talk about Bravo stuff. We give our opinions, but we're not talking to any Bravo people and getting inside stuff. Like, to me, that's so messed up.
Now,
Well, listen, I mean, no one's calling us.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. And that's fine, because that's not why we do, like, that's not what we want. We don't want.
No, we don't. But I'm just saying, if someone called us, we may just listen.
Right.
Just
So,
saying, we may just listen.
But,
Adam reached out to this Dana Wilkie. She says it's not Lisa. So up and Adam says it's not Lisa.
Right.
I didn't think it was Lisa, quite honestly.
But wait a second. I thought the whole thing was about who put out the post, that the Instagram post, not that there was a podcast. It was who put out the Instagram post that was tagging Meredith in it.
Right.
That's what the Bravo led us to believe.
That
that was not the case.
Claire. It wasn't this Claire.
It wasn't that.
No.
Yeah. So that's effed up. I'm going to tell you right now, that is effed up.
Well, he kind of feels it's very effed up too. And he was like, look, he said he really has his lawyers reviewing what it is that he signed.
Wow.
So
you done fucked up, Adam, because
he said he was
I don't
I
think Adam did. I don't think Adam did. He didn't do anything wrong.
Well,
right. And he said he's got the proof of everything of how it went down. He said, so they'd be really stupid not to play it out the correct way of
I'm
how
just
it really
saying
happened.
the way he's being, but I had no idea it was Adam from Up and Adam. But now he's being portrayed as saying something because producers manipulated what he was saying.
Yes.
And unfortunately, he signed off for that.
Right.
No, but I don't know that he did sign off for that.
What he's saying. He
when
doesn't.
you sign
No, but like Lori said, he's got his lawyers looking at what he signed off on, because he signed off to be on the show. He didn't sign off to be misrepresented.
This is why Jeff Lewis didn't go on.
Well, Jeff Lewis didn't go on because they wouldn't indemnify him.
Right. They wouldn't protect him.
Well, there's a difference. That's different than lying and misrepresenting.
It's very clever editing. Like he said, they put the confessional in the middle of the conversation to change what your thought of that conversation would be.
And like he said, he did say this. It happened at the end of the season, and we're getting it in episode 5.
Yeah.
So that's effed up.
Yeah.
It's all manipulation. These shows are all manipulation.
Yeah. So let me just see what else I have here.
This makes me mad.
It makes me so mad because it's not how it started, people. This is not how Housewives started. It's taken a real dark turn.
I mean,
honestly,
honestly,
he filmed it in February up until now, he said. So he said the conversation was right before the finale. And he said production is setting Lisa up to be the villain.
Yeah, but this is what gets me crazy. First of all, that they named this episode after Whitney, right? When we all agreed the best part of this episode was the whole Bronwyn
and her daughter
and her daughter situation. Like, that was the best part of this episode.
We haven't even gotten to the Jared and Brittany lunch yet. I mean, that was a great thing too.
Like, this is insanity.
Yeah.
I am so disappointed in Bravo.
They're painting Lisa as the villain.
Right.
And it's just hysterical because Lisa will do it all on her own.
100%. I mean, I'm not a Lisa
fan.
fan.
I like Lisa.
No, and I'm not a Lisa fan.
I'm not a Lisa fan.
No, this is insanity. This aggravates me. This really aggravates me.
This is where we are with Housewives, Wendy.
I know, but I don't like it. I don't like it.
I'm telling you, Bravo's a sinking ship.
Well,
which is why we're getting into the whole
other stuff.
The Menendez brothers.
We're
getting into some other shit, people.
Yeah, but when I started getting into this Up and Adam stuff, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
We'll see how that plays out. But let's get to the Jared. Wait, was that all you had?
I believe so.
Let's get to the Jared and Brittany lunch because this guy. I mean, we've all dated one of these guys, haven't we?
I know. I know. I have not.
I've dated player before.
I mean,
no.
Off the top of my head, I can think of about 3 that I've dated that were Jared.
Any time that I ever did, I knew I was playing played. And that was okay because I was playing him.
I thought I was dating 3 guys like Jared, but as far as they were concerned, we were not dating.
Right.
We were just good friends.
Right. With benefits.
No benefits.
No benefits. No. Yeah. I'm sorry, but
I mean, maybe kissing, but that's it. That was
I did not
going to get because I didn't just give it up. Like, you know.
Listen, you're a CCD teacher. You're not giving that shit up.
I'm not giving that shit up for sure.
All right, go ahead. Tell us about it.
This guy, he definitely looks like an Osmond.
And how about Brittany coming in hot with the boobs? I was like, bro, what do you? That shirt she had on, she was like busting out of the shirt.
Yeah. But, all right. I do think that letting Lisa read his text messages was a little much.
Yeah, that was not a smart move.
Yeah, I don't co-sign that.
But I don't think that she has enough. I read something about her that I have to see if it's true. That she has charges out against her husband.
Brittany?
She filed some charges against him. Mm-hmm.
Well,
that he was like he would tell her what to wear.
He was controlling.
He was extremely controlling. Yes.
But what charges are those? Domestic corkscrew.
Well, listen. So I don't think she should have showed Lisa the text messages between she and I just want to keep calling him Donnie. I'm not gonna lie.
Jared.
But the FaceTime didn't. Who said it? They were like, we were all on that FaceTime to him.
Lisa said it.
Yeah.
So he said, listen, I get a FaceTime call from your number and I'm expecting it to be you and it's Lisa Barlow. And I find out that she's been reading all of my private text messages.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. She says to him, you don't make me feel safe. And the look on his face was like, whoa. He says, like, what do you mean? And then in her confessional, she doesn't say it to him. In her confessional, she says, like, you don't go out in public with me. He's like, I hold your hand. She's like, but yeah, then when you see a cute girl, you drop my hand.
And he won't get off dating apps.
He won't get off dating apps and he doesn't post her on social media.
That's bullshit.
Right. He says, well, I'm giving you everything that I can. She said, okay, well, then that's what my answer is.
Right.
If this is all you can give me, then this isn't what I want.
Right.
He said, all right, then we'll put a pin in it. Because obviously he's uncomfortable with the conversation. She's calling him out and he doesn't have an answer because he said, I'm giving you all that I can give. And this is it.
And Lisa's calling him out. Like, didn't you have like a douchebag boyfriend that your best friend was like, he is no
But
good.
I think...
And then the boyfriend hates your best friend because your boyfriend knows that the best friend knows that he's a DB. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I think that she doesn't have the emotional capacity to even think like that. I think that she probably was abused by her ex-husband And I think that she's not, I don't even think she has it in her to even think like that.
That she's so into the Mormon
That's what
way
that's what I'm saying.
that she's going to do whatever she's got to do to make a relationship work because that's what they tell you to do.
Right. And I think she comes from a very immature
Their
place.
relationship is like a high school relationship or like early 20s. Like,
absolutely.
Like, oh
but
my
I
God.
don't, what I'm saying to you is I think that that's just the relationships that she's been in.
Right.
Her relationships have been manipulative.
The whole,
So
like,
she
forever.
just thinks that she doesn't see what everybody else sees, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
That's how
And now she's on camera for everyone to see.
Up and Adam said, and I want to ask you guys about this, that she reminds him of season 3, Julie Cooper on the OC.
Julie Cooper? I don't
Wait,
know
what?
who's Julie Cooper.
Julie Cooper is the one that goes on Juicy Scoop with Heather McDonald, isn't she?
I mean,
Wait, what did he say?
He said season 3 of the OC, Julie Cooper. I don't watch it. That's why I'm asking you people.
I look up.
I didn't even
remember
know.
Julie from OC.
I don't know. But what I will say is that I think that Brittany is very immature.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I would say that she was abused by her ex-husband, because I don't know that we know that, and I don't want to make those kind of accusations.
Well, everything is alleged.
Julie Cooper was on the drama series, The OC.
Oh,
Remember that show? It was like a 90210. You'd know her if you saw her.
Oh, I just heard OC, and I was like, oh, that must be the show they watch.
Yeah.
So
she was on Entourage. She was the stepmother.
Yeah. So I just want to put that out there. I just think Brittany is emotionally immature. I don't think we know what happened.
I'm saying, emotionally immature.
I don't think we know what happened with her ex-husband. I think that there may be stuff that we have no idea that happened because she doesn't talk to her children, or her children don't talk to her.
Yeah.
So there's got to be something going on there. Yeah. I don't want to speculate what it is.
No, because again, we don't want to judge.
I don't want to talk about children. I don't want to talk about children, and I don't want to judge a parent. But I'm just saying that her emotionally she's stunted. I think she's emotionally stunted.
That's what I'm saying.
I think she's emotionally stunted. And
normally that does come from some kind of trauma.
But we don't know where that trauma came from.
Right.
But I mean, doesn't she have a friend in the world that says, girl, don't be playing this shit out on TV. What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, Lisa, personally, I think Lisa's being a good friend to her by being like, he's a jerk. He's a, this, he's that. But yeah, you're right. Like, this is somebody who's not affiliated with the show being like,
who let her
but wait,
go on there and be like,
is Brittany Lisa's friend? Or Brittany's Heather's friend?
Brittany's Heather's friend, but Lisa's the one who's been, having her back with this whole relationship.
And that's what I'm wondering. Is Brittany really Heather's friend? Because I don't see where Heather's being a friend to Brittany at all.
Right.
I don't see that.
Somebody put on social media, why does this book look like all of the Real Housewives of Dallas, all of them put together in one person?
Oh, it's one person.
And I was like, oh, she kind of did, because she kind of looks like Brandy, but then she kind of looks like the one who left after they said her husband was, gay in the cowboy bars, which I don't believe that either.
The plastic surgeon.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is what I saw on social media was they had all these before and afters of Brittany.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
Oh my God. You have to look at that because it's craziness. Like the before and afters.
Oh, she had a lot of surgery.
Oh, you could,
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to say it because I don't want people coming for me, please.
Yeah.
Please don't come for me.
All right, we're going to move on. Next, we see Bronwyn's daughter, Gwen. She walks in the kitchen and she says that, Bronwyn lets us know that she's been away. She went to Bronwyn's mother's house, her mom and dad's house in San Francisco, because when she got back from Milwaukee, she told her what was going on. And she wanted to give her daughter, Gwen, some time to process it, which I 100% support. And I think it was
a great idea.
Mature, and it was the right thing to do.
Yeah, give her some time alone to.
And listen, that's not easy. We're moms. We know that's not easy to let our kids go and figure this shit out themselves. But you know what she did, and good for her, because that's what needed to happen, right? We all know that that's what needed to happen. So then we see that Bronwyn met with Lisa, and they received the text from Gwen's grandmother, and it said, "We'd really love to meet with Gwen, but only if she's in a place in her life or she's ready to accept us." And Gwen, that really put Gwen off, and I don't blame her.
Well,
Well,
here's what I
two
think.
different ways.
I think that they want to meet her, but I don't think they want to have to explain themselves for not wanting to meet her before this.
Absolutely, and
I don't think they want to discuss the past.
They don't want. Well, really, this is what I think. I think that they just don't want to look bad on national television.
Well, yeah,
Because
who
they're looking
does?
pretty bad
Well, who
it
does?
is.
And especially if you're Mormon,
Yeah,
right.
because you don't even answer. You don't answer
Well,
to, especially what?
with the mom talk chicks out there.
Oh, yeah.
at swinging parties.
yeah.
They're
Yes.
like, all right, we already got a little bit of a bad look.
Yeah.
Even though people love the show, no.
And then Gwen says, "Listen, I feel like they had almost 18 years to reach out, and they woke up every day and chose not to."
This is true.
And they don't want to have to explain that.
No, and listen,
Really, what they really should have done, if they really wanted to have any kind of relationship with Gwen, is they should have reached out to Bronwyn, straightened the shit out with her, apologized to her,
They owe her an
give her
apology.
an apology, establish some kind of relationship with her, feel it out, and then
I agree.
that's how I feel
100%.
about
They
that.
definitely need to apologize to Bronwyn.
But I think that they should have approached her first and not Gwen.
You know, Bronwyn says to her, she knows that she really wants to know something about her dad. And, Gwen understands that the only way that she can really know anything about her dad is to have a relationship with her grandparents, since her mother doesn't know anything. She doesn't, because she wasn't in his life. She doesn't
Right.
know anything.
Right. I mean, my God, the poor man only lived 2 years after they had their baby. She
Right.
had his baby.
And in Bronwyn's confessional, she said, Gwen is the only one in this scenario that didn't make any choices. And she is the only one in this scenario that feels the weight of all the choices of everyone
Yeah.
else made for her.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it's so true.
Yeah.
That is what is so compelling about this story.
Right.
That is what we watch Real Housewives for. This is what we watch it for. And this is what it should be titled. It should not be titled about the bullshit about Up and Adam and Alibaba.
Yeah,
And I love
bullshit.
Whitney, but this should not be about Whitney's
No.
whatever the heck
No.
we called it.
No.
Right.
This is
Because,
the story.
Everything that went on with her and her daughter are things that anybody who is a mom can totally relate to. They are relatable things.
Yes.
When I'm watching these housewife shows, there's not my strategy here. There's not a lot that I can relate to.
Right.
So I think that, at least for me, coming from somebody who's not an established previous man, is it was nice to have
Something real.
something real.
I just can't, like I said earlier.
Mary is much more real for me.
Totally agree. Totally agree. Totally agree. Knowing what she's going through with her son. But I just can't, again, I can't imagine knowing that your son who passed away has a child out there and you're not in their life.
Trace.
I mean, we see, we see one more than the other, but that's only because one of my nephew's children had moved out of state with their mom, their family. But my goodness gracious, like when she's here, we see her, like we see them. I can't imagine, let's put it this way. I can't imagine not knowing what's going on in their lives.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
So even if you don't see them as often as you'd like, just being in contact and communication. So it's an extension of the person you lost.
100%.
Well, you know what? It's a really sad thing because I think you're letting organized religion get in the way of love.
I mean, listen.
And the bottom line of everything should be love.
It should be family.
It's also like an old school thing. Like, I don't want to get into it, but, somebody in my family got pregnant before marriage years ago. and their parents did not react well at all. Like they weren't Mormon,
Right.
It was that time too. Like it's more acceptable now.
Yes, it is. You are right. When you think about when this
as
was,
opposed to 30
not
years
that it's
ago
an excuse.
or 20 years ago.
Or 18, because she's 18.
18 or
Not that it's
18
an
years.
excuse,
Yeah.
but you're right. That, we're tending to think about it as now kind of a thing. When you think
I
about
mean,
it,
that was my father's worst fear. So
It's sad. It really is sad. It's sad that this is not what we're seeing more of, because
Right.
this is what we want to see.
this is totally
It is called
it is relatable.
Real Housewives.
Right.
And that's what we want. We want real.
Right.
That's what we want. And, Gwen understands that the only way she can really know anything about her dad is to have a relationship with her grandparents, since her mother doesn't know anything about him.
Right.
And, I think eventually, in my heart, because we don't know, we're going to find out, I think she's going to allow them to get to know her so that she can get to know who her father really was.
right.
Right.
And my hope for her is that she sounds like a very mature girl, that she can take from whatever it is they're willing to give and let that be enough and use it to her advantage for herself, and not be so concerned of whether they're accepting of her.
And maybe like go into it with the mindset like maybe we don't have to have this conversation now. Like maybe we get comfortable with each other and
Right.
learn about each other, and then maybe down the road we're comfortable enough to have that conversation about why you acted the way you acted.
Right.
Like, don't put that on them. And listen, I'm not trying to defend them for their reaction.
Right,
to everything.
but what you're
But
saying
give
is
them some
something.
time.
But what you're saying is also on them. They're the ones that
They're
are
the
more,
adults.
They're the adults, and
Right.
they should be the ones that say, "Look, I know we really need to talk about what happened and how it went down, and we really want to have that conversation with you, but can we just
let's just get to know each other.
You know what
first.
I'm saying?
Right. And I'm really curious to see how this plays out. I really am.
We're almost at an hour. We better pick it up.
All right. So then we see Heather marrying Lisa and
interesting
Brittany.
episode.
Heather
It was
marry
good.
Lisa and Brittany go zip lining.
That driver must have been deaf by the time he got to the top.
I mean, they took
Squawking.
that 4-wheeler up to the top, and they're all covered in mud. And Mary says, "Why did I wear white? I'm all covered in mud, but at least I don't have it on my teeth like Heather."
But okay, so what was with Heather just leaving it on her face?
I know.
Because that was on purpose. Like, was there some meaning behind that?
Who knows? What Heather-
Messy? Like, what was it?
I like when Mary was like, "I go ziplining every chance I get."
that was
on
great.
Cruises,
The zipline
here,
queen,
there.
right?
Yeah. Good for her.
I love too that after they're done zip lining, Heather pulls out the tables and chairs from the back of her car and the charcuterie.
And Mary's
the
face
wine.
is like, "Wait, what? We're eating right here?"
Like you're taking food out of the trunk and we're eating it.
And then the producers ask Mary, "How many times?
Like black barbecue?
How many times have you been tailgating?" She's like,
What is that?
"What is that?" Like Mary doesn't know what tailgating
Like when we're
is.
outside and we're eating ribs.
Right.
So
That
funny.
was so funny. So Heather gives Brittany the unicorn.
See, I told you the unicorn was from there.
Yes. Oh my
Yeah.
God. And so, okay.
God, these producers, like,
Yes, I got them confused because it's the same production company.
There you go, messing
Yeah.
with us.
You're right. Heather gives Brittany the
they're
unicorn.
slacking, man.
And
You're
she's
lazy. You're doing the same shit on both shows, Jen.
Right.
Media.
right. And she says she's strong like a unicorn after her breakup with Jared. And Mary thinks it's an ashtray. It's so funny.
And then Brittany starts her conversation with Lisa, basically blaming Lisa.
Right. Right.
Which,
And
come on,
Mary's
girl.
laughing at that situation was great.
Yeah, I mean,
Lisa says, "Listen, we called him out on his bad behavior.
Right.
You were laughing about it. You were okay with it.
Right.
And now what? All of a sudden? Like now all of a sudden it's a problem?"
Right. And how about then they start questioning Mary about the dance. The dance thing. She was
dodging
very
it. Yeah,
gangster
he
about
was-
that in the
he was
beginning. She
dodging. I
wasn't
liked
saying
it.
shit.
That was hysterical.
Yeah.
That was
She
literally
was not. She was very
because she didn't want to
tight-lipped.
say she was with Angie.
Yeah.
I love how Mary just like gave it to her about the black eye and then
Yeah.
the body image thing.
Yeah.
It's that's a big rabbit hole, that whole thing, because you can kind of see both sides of that coin. Like,
Well, I think Heather's right. I think that, people want to see skinny, fit people.
well, people are nicer. It's just proven fact. People are
Sure.
nicer to
100%.
people who are thinner.
Yep.
But I mean, but it's also a thing where if you decide to champion being a big girl, and then you decide not to be a big girl anymore.
Exactly.
But what I thought was interesting is Mary went at her for that, but I don't remember Heather having to champion herself as a big girl until Mary gave her that hard time about wearing that bustier.
Yeah.
Saying that she didn't think that
That Gucci made it in her size.
You're right.
So
I'm sure Heather always had insecurities about her size, but it wasn't really, light wasn't shown on it until Mary made that comment on Watch What
right.
Happens Live.
So then
Yeah.
I think then kind of Heather,
Yep.
you
started
maybe had-
Ozempic,
yeah, but
basically, because she's admit to it.
Well, she admitted to doing
Yeah,
Ozempic.
exactly.
But
Yeah.
what I loved about what Mary did is she said to her, listen, if you had a problem with Angie, why didn't you contact Angie? She said this to Lisa.
Right.
And, she's like, why didn't, and Lisa's like, well, like, why? Mary said to Heather, like, why do you keep championing Lisa? Like, Angie's been your friend since high school.
Right.
And it's true. Angie has been
call her out. It was great.
Yes. And she's like, listen. And honestly, Heather stumbled.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She's like, well, wait. Well, I mean, I champion Angie too, but I think Lisa's right in this situation. And she's not right in this situation.
No, she's not.
And
and
love
Heather does not champion Angie.
No, she doesn't. And I love that Mary called her out on it,
Mhm.
And then she says, listen, and then she also called her chief. Mary said, listen, I think it's kind of two-faced of you. It is two-faced.
Yep.
And Heather says, I don't think it is. I would say everything I just said to Angie. Mary said,
No, she
my
wouldn't.
thing with you, Heather, I feel like you leave a trail of lies, like the black eye, then the champion of the body positivity. That's a lie too. Mary says to Heather, I'm not trying to hurt you. Heather says, I know, but we need to figure this out or we're in an impasse.
Yep.
And she's right.
And someone put on a social media post, and I thought this was probably true. Poor people have body positivity. Rich people have Ozempic.
Very true.
That was pretty true.
Very true.
Yeah, so that whole thing is that's kind of like a double-edged sword, because because then all the big girls that you were championing yourself
Yep.
for and being now what? Now you know what I mean? So it's but how about the best thing is when Bronwyn said, how about we stop commenting on women's bodies?
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. For that. For their looks or
Right.
anything like that. Right.
And then in Mary's confessional, she says, listen, I've noticed that Heather's in the middle of everything and that she stands there and she hides her hands. And that's what she does. Because right now, Heather is the one that is stirring the pot between Whitney, between Meredith, between Lisa, between Angie.
She's the bone carrier.
She really is. And it doesn't need to be that way.
Right.
And I like that Mary
and she's
called
not
her out.
talking about anything in her own life.
No, she's not.
All right, so I have one thing to say.
Please.
This Tamara
On OC?
on that show, OC.
Okay.
With her saying this stuff about she's on the spectrum. So I heard something about this here.
Mm-hmm.
So this and Adam was watching
Go
it today
again.
all day. He called Kelly Dodd on the phone. And
Do you know Kelly? Do you know who Kelly Dodd is?
she's the one was in that trip with the Housewives.
She was a former housewife of OC.
But wasn't she on that trip with the
Who?
Dorinda and... Or am I thinking
Tamara
wrong?
was.
No, Kelly Dodd.
No,
No,
Kelly
not
Dodd. No, Kelly Dodd. I asked her if she knows who Kelly Dodd is. She doesn't know who
So I
Kelly
don't know.
Dodd is.
That's why I don't know.
Oh,
what
Kelly Dodd was an OC housewife, but she wasn't on the girls' ultimate.
Oh,
Tri-
she
Ultimate
wasn't.
Girls
No,
Trip.
she was
What
not.
what was that girl's name?
I mean,
Tamara and Vicky,
No, the one that I watched.
I don't know.
Sonia and Luann.
Yeah.
That was Crappy Lake.
No. It was
You
a
watched
girl.
Ultimate
You watched
Girls
the
Trip?
Ultimate Girls Trip? Did you watch the
Cynthia
one at Dorinda's house?
No, they were at an island.
Yeah. So you watched the one,
They had
the New
70s
York one.
disco.
Was Teresa there?
yeah.
You watched the
No.
she watched the one with all the New York girls. Luann.
Oh, The Legacy.
Simona. Yeah.
No, Kelly Dodd was a former OC housewife
Wasn't
who
very-
was fired
Right. So anyway,
for being a Republican.
Tamara is an independent contractor.
What?
So she gets paid on a 1099.
Who?
Tamara.
They all do. They're all 1099.
So,
I
but
didn't know
anyway,
that.
so she was because she was saying Heather McDonald was saying
No, they're all 1099. None of them are getting benefits. None of them are on the payroll of Bravo. They're contracted. They have contracts that they sign. If you're a contracted
They're not
employee,
considered Bravo employees?
if you're
No.
contracted,
So,
you
but
are
this is the thing.
contracted. You're a 1099.
so.
It's a loophole.
Heather McDonald was saying that because she's saying she's under the spectrum that she'll be covered under the Americans.
She was
with disability.
joking.
Oh, she was just.
Oh yeah, no, she was joking.
Okay.
Heather McDonald was throwing shade.
Okay.
Hysterical.
So, but
Yes.
but they were saying because she's a 1099 employee, that doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Bravo's not her employer, so she can't.
No, it was just Heather throwing shade.
No, okay. I had something good.
That's
Right.
hysterical. Heather has been hysterical with the whole
Yeah.
camera situation.
I will just last mention that after this episode on Watch What Happens Live, it was Bronwyn. I didn't know Bronwyn's last name is Newport.
Me neither.
And Heather McMahon. I love Heather McMahon.
Yeah, she was funny.
I love Heather McMahon. And Bronwyn and her chandelier earrings that she had on.
Fantastic.
And her husband Todd was there, and they were talking about buying the rug because the rug was being auctioned off.
You know what I kept thinking of?
What?
How many times did Waka, Andy Cohen's dog, shit on that rug?
Yeah.
Why would you want? I mean, I guess you could steam clean it, but I don't want that rug.
Honestly, I don't know what happened because the next night there was a new rug there. So I don't know if he actually got it or not. Because
They didn't say it?
I may have missed it because I don't know. We'll have to find out if Bronwyn and Todd got that rug and it's going to be in their house. But it's gone.
I'd like to know what Kelly's having to drink.
Oh, yes. What is Kelly drinking?
We're going to post this. This is Proper Cock.
Proper what?
Proper Cock.
Okay, that's interesting.
Unique Limentini, and it's from Garden State Distillery, and it was made after my friend Luann Russell, who is an amazing person. And I also know the owner of Garden State Distillery.
And where
Sissy
they're located.
Norman. They're in Toms River. And Luann does boozy bingo at Garden State Distillery, and we're gonna go so you can meet her because Luann's such an amazing person that Rick and Sissy, who own Garden State Distillery, saw that for themselves.
And what's the
And
name of
decided
it? What's
to
the name of the drink again?
It's Proper Cock.
All right, so if I'm a person and I have a drink, and the drink is Proper Cock.
Well, like the Proper Cock is not the name of the drink. The name of the drink is Unique Limentini. I think Proper Cock is one of their liquor, like one of their
Labels.
One of their vodka or their
one of their lines of liquor. Okay.
But they're all amazing people.
I was just going to say,
and it's
I had a
delicious.
drink named after me, and it was called Proper Cock.
And Rick was in Lavodi's liquor store where my daughter works, and she texted me and said they're sampling the thing that you like because Tessa knows I like that. So I went in and I didn't know Rick. I only knew his wife, but I introduced myself, and we're going to go to a boozy bingo.
Okay,
And
fun.
by the way, we're going to reach out to them to see if they'd like to sponsor We Wine Whenever because we're looking for sponsors.
For sure.
Anyone who'd be interested in sponsoring We Wine Whenever, please reach out to us, DM us, because listen, we're tired of paying for this ourselves. I'll be honest
I don't
with
know
you.
if we want to say that, but all right.
Okay, but we just did, because that's how we roll around here.
It's late.
I think it's
Saturday,
bedtime.
and there's been a lot of alcohol.
Yes,
consumption.
and we need a sponsor.
letting it rip.
There's been a lot.
Letting it rip, people.
Look, there's been a lot of proper cock.
A lot of
Proper cock.
A lot of proper cock. All right.
Thank
Good
you
night.
for watching and listening to We Wine Whenever. Until next time.
Good night.
Bye.